Let's take a moment to review volleyball fundamentals and rules. The volleyball court is divided into 6 designated zones or spots, as shown in the diagram. Players in position 2, 3, and 4 are classified as front row and are considered hitters. Players in position 5, 6, and 1 are classified as back row. They are prohibited from jumping and attacking in front of the 10-foot line. There are overlapping rules that dictate where each player must be in relation to the other players on the court before the ball is served. After the ball is served, players can move around on the court however they choose. Player in position 1 must be behind 2 and to the right of 6. Player in position 2 must be in front of 1 and to the right of 3. Player in position 3 must be between 4 and 2 and in front of 6. Player in position 4 must be in front of 5 and to the left of 3. Player in position 5 must be behind 4 and to the left of 6. Player in position 6 must be behind 3 and between 5 and 1. Just like there are different types of teachers such as math and English teachers, volleyball players have specialized skills. Setter. Their primary position is to set the ball for attacks. Outside hitter. They play an attack from the left front. Middle blocker. They play an attack from the middle front. Opposite hitter, or oppo. They play an attack from the right front. In a 6-2 rotation, when the second setter moves to the front row, they play oppo. Defensive specialists. They are defensive players and play in the back row. Libero. Like a DS, they are defensive player with additional privileges. The libero can replace any back row player without prior notice to the officials and wears a different color jersey. There are 6 rotations that repeat throughout the game. After each team earns a side out, players are required to rotate one space in a clockwise manner. In this video, we'll be covering a 6-2 rotation. The key feature of the 6-2 rotation is that there are 2 setters. When one of the setters rotates to the back row, she is the primary setter. The other setter in the front row is one of the attackers. She is playing oppo. Throughout the video, please use the left diagram to reference where players should be in respect to each rotation. In the right diagram, we will illustrate how players transition during service and serve receive. We have labeled the primary setter in green for easy reference. Before going to each rotation, we need to explain base position. Base position is where we want players to be at after the ball has moved to the other team's side. Players need to transition to their assigned spot on the court. For example, outside hitter should be at the left front. Middle blocker should be at the center front, and oppo should be at the right front. In the diagram, there are 2 setters, 2 middle blockers, and 2 outside hitters, positioned in opposition to one another. In rotation 1, OH1, M1, and S2 are front row players, and they will be our main attackers. OH2, M2, and S1 are back row players. They are not allowed to jump and attack in front of the 10-foot line. In rotation 1 service, the primary setter S1 is serving first. Players should position themselves before the ball is served while respecting the overlapping rules. After the ball is served, they should move to their assigned base position. OH1 is playing left front. S2 is playing right front. M1 will be close to the net getting ready to block. And S1 should cover middle front. Please examine how players are positioned themselves before and after the ball is served. S1 is getting ready to serve, while H1 is still to the right of M1, and S2 is still to the right of M1. They're still obeying the overlapping rules. Once the ball is served, they are allowed to move anywhere within the court. However, we want them to move to their base positions. OH1 is moving to the left front. S2, who is playing oppo, is moving to the right front. And S1 is moving to the middle front. Next, let's examine rotation 1 serve receive. In serve receive, we're hiding our S1 behind OH1. OH1 is still to the right of M1. S2 is still to the left of M1. Once the ball is served, we want our setter to move close to the net as soon as possible. After the ball has moved to the other side of the court, we want our players to transition to their base position. OH1 is moving to the left front. S2 is moving to the right front. Let's examine rotation 2 service and serve receive. You may have noticed our players have rotated one position in a clockwise manner. OH1 is our next server. M1 and S1 are still obeying the overlapping rules. S1 is still behind S2. M1 is still to the right of S2. S1 is still to the left of M1. After the ball is served, S2, who's playing oppo, will be moving to the right front. Next, let's examine rotation 2 serve receive. In rotation 2 serve receive, we're hiding S1 behind S2. Again, in this formation, we still have 5 passers. Once the ball is served, S1 is released to the net. Once the ball has moved to the other side of the court, players should transition to the base position. OH2 is already on the left front. S2 is playing opposite move to the left front, and M1 is moving to the middle, close to the net. We're getting ready to block. Let's examine rotation 3 service and serve receive. You may have noticed our players have rotate one position clockwise. M1 is our next server. Players are getting ready to move to the base position. M1 is getting ready to serve. S1, OH2, and M2 are still obeying the overlapping rules. S1 is still to the left of OH1, and S1 is still behind M2. M2 is still to the left of OH2. After the ball is served, players are moving to their base position. Next, let's review serve receive for rotation 3. Our primary setter is still S1. However, for the first ball, we want S2 to set the first ball. This is primarily due to the reason that S1 is far away from the setter spot. After the ball has gone over the net, players should transition to the base position. S2 is no longer the setter. She will be playing oppo. S1 is the primary setter. We'll set the remaining balls. M2 is playing close to the net, getting ready to block.